I will rule the world when our love was everything we own. Will you miss the feeling when we got our freedom? Nothing but our feet walking on fire. Now I feel left both of us naked, undressed, our bodies are faded. We froze, we'll keep on waiting to feel alive. So save me, save me, save me, save me.
All right, guys. What is going on? What is Gucci? What is Gucci? Hope you guys are ready to learn something today. Man, if we get a reversal here, bro, that's gonna be wild. That's gonna be wild, chat. If Dow makes a new high today, that'll be wild. We shall see. And yes, Mason, you'd be correct. I saw that. I saw that a minute ago, right here. NQ is lower right there. ES higher. Dow higher as well. So that's why I said there's a small chance we could still trade higher today. But listen, I'm done, bro. I'm done. I got stuff to do anyway. You know what I mean? I got shit to do anyway. But you know, we'll see. I'm not in a trade anymore. I'm done. I spent so much mental capital this morning. I'm fucking done. Can't do it, man. I'm cooked. Cooked. So, I mean, still green. You know what I mean? Still green, but too much capital spent, man. I'm done. Finito. You know, that's why I made that meme with Kermit the Frog. I was like, oh, I'm done for the week. But there's another set of equal highs. It's like, oh, fuck. Maybe I'm not done. Maybe I'm not done. You know what I mean? So, hopefully you guys found it funny. That was kind of the point. What's good? Ram, Robert, Mason, Victor, Naruto, Hotshot, Eberneth. Good luck going fishing today. Have fun with that. What's good? Sean, Jorks, Torty, Marshall, Leon, Chris, Lewis. Who else is here? Who else is here after a interesting pre-market and an interesting PM session and an interesting lunch as well? Lunch kind of hit the wham bam, thank you ma'am. You know what I'm saying? Interesting day. Not impossible to trade, but very interesting. I'll tell you that. Rich off the dip. Okay. So we got a few more people on here. ES 5923 basically, if you round up, is some low resistance highs. I thought we were going to reach that earlier. We did not. NQ I highly doubt is going to trade up to our 420 level. 21,421. Nasdaq's our weakest index today, so I doubt it. It's not impossible. And then 42,344 current high of day for Dow. Okay, so there you go. But let me briefly talk about, I was going to rename the stream today The Hazards of Trading Laggards. Solid name. And a few announcements as well. Is there a reason why you don't stream on Thursdays and not Wednesdays or any other day? Yeah, because I do what I want. I'm a free man living in America. No, I would, excuse me, I would stream every day, but I teach you guys to take days off. And what type of teacher would I be if I told you to take days off and didn't take days off myself? So, plus that gives an opportunity to bring up and coming traders or people who want to stream, like Lee Bright, for example. So he goes live in the Discord every Thursday. So it's not always about me. You good with that? ES 1 hour sell model, sort of. I set the chart in Discord. It just swept the original consolidation. I mean, if you saw it, you know, hey, more power to you. I was not looking for that, honestly. Not today. I was looking for these up here. And that brings me into my first point, basically, is that today is not only the last day of the week. If I can pull up the calendar, today is May 30th, right? So it is a Friday. It's the last day of the week, but it is also the last week of the month. So that's why I said before we even had equities open today, I said tread lightly, right? Tread lightly. That means don't go full risk. That means be careful. That means err on the side of caution. Maybe that means don't take any trades. That's what that means. Okay? And that's why. All right. And so I'm not surprised, right? ES got close but did not take the highs, but it did offer a new high here, right? Partials pay. It's one of the 48 laws somewhere in the risk management section, I think. Dow was the only one who did, and that's why I changed the opacity at these highs, because that's already been met. So, you know, if you were trading Dow this morning, yeah, the target was met. If you were trading Nasdaq, there was opportunity, but how do I say this? Nasdaq's our laggard, right? Which is not, it doesn't always happen like that. Dow is usually not the leader. Nasdaq was our laggard in today's case. So I don't think I brought this up in the Discord earlier. However, if you look at regular trading hours, might have to zoom out just a little bit. All right. Regular trading hours does not have the highs. So that, to me, that's noteworthy. Because if regular trading hours has the same highs, that to me is more probable. Also, regular trading hours, you obviously have to wait for 8:30. You have to wait for equities. So once equities opens, when you swap to regular trading hours, you can see that we pretty much opened right where we closed yesterday. So when we traded lower and below Thursday's low, that's why it's labeled that way. Because this wouldn't make sense by itself. You'd be like, why would you long down in here? We already took, you know, that low. Yeah, we took it in pre-market. We did not take it in regular trading hours. Time, right? Time, price, context. So with that being said, if we go down and do the smaller time frames, as per usual, okay, taking Thursday regular trading hours low, 21,301. We take that, right? But we don't really have any imbalances here. I mean, there is one right there, sure. But we never trade beyond that. Well, we do here, but I'm saying not in here. We don't. Then we get an imbalance. Then we get another one. Then we get another one. Right? So the last one is where? Right here. So we have a inversion. Then we also have that one created on the way higher. So you see how those two overlap? Does everybody see that? What's good, Big James? What's good, Pop? Drop some ones in the chat. What's good, Amanda? Drop some ones in the chat if you guys are with me so far. We have one that was created on the way lower, and we have one that was created on the way higher, and they both overlap. That's good shit. That's good shit. You like that? Okay. That's what we like to see. And so the idea, at least as of down in here, we trade higher. We make several new highs. There's some short-term highs here, met. Equities open high, right? Don't forget what that is. 830 to 9, right? Highest high and the lowest low, which is here. You see that? That's not difficult. So again, we get some internal range highs here. We keep going. The orange line is equities open. So then we finally stab above equities open high. And I thought we would extend for 425, right? We only needed like 30 more points. I was like, okay, we should be able to get that. Market was like, yeah, fuck no, buddy. So it did end up coming back, right? And that's okay. That's part of it. So that's why I wanted to go over the hazards trading laggards, okay? So don't miss the point here. Is there opportunity? Was there opportunity today? Yes. Did it hit the final target? No. And this is the exact reason why I made the laws, the 48 laws, and within the risk management section, I think it's the middle one. I forget which number it is, but it talks about how partials pay. Partials grow the account. You know what I mean? And that would have served you very well today. Okay? And yeah, so from here to here, like that's enough for a green day. Okay? You can rock with that. All right, maybe you get it, maybe you don't. I'll move on. Very similar story, right? With the yes. Let me go look at something real quick. Okay. Similar, but not the same. Thursday's low. Right there. You see that? So what does ES do instead? Thank you, Naruto. One of you got it. I just make shit up, you know, as I go along. Whatever just pops in, I just say shit. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Anyway, we don't take Thursday's low. We trade through. You see that gap? Remember what we did the other day? A normal, like, imbalance or an inversion is usually from the candle's high to to this candle's low, right? 1,000 contracts, hotshot. I'm just kidding. I don't put on that many. You don't need a lot of contracts to make good money, okay? But I included this gap. Remember on Wednesday? That was only a couple days ago. You shouldn't have forgot. So, failure to take Thursday's regular trading hours low, then we get the inversion model. We trade higher, new high right there, good partial. We trade into that gap. That's a good partial. And then, like I said, with Nasdaq, they did not have, these highs are pre-market. They are not in the regular trading hour session. So we don't get that. We get close, and then we end up getting a reversal to go lower. But again, the whole point is taking partials at new highs. That's what grows the account. If you were all in and aiming, you know, for up here, that was all of like 30 points or something. 25, 30 something points offered on that. And if you didn't take anything, look what takes place. Okay, lunch retail traders were on the menu today for lunch today. So yeah, but anyway, back to the point. The hazards of trading laggards. So NQ was our laggard today, right? It's the one that was just retracing lower, running Thursday's low by, I don't know what a substantial amount would be as far as a stop run for NQ. I don't know what that would be, but neither one of Dow or ES took regular trading hours Thursday's low. Only NQ did. So the problem with trading the laggards, okay, the only time it's worth it is when they get back in sync with the other indices, okay? Because, like, if you guys remember, okay, look at this shit. If you remember from this morning, you see this shit? Dow, right, makes a high. NQ makes a high. NQ trades lower. Dow is higher. NQ, again, yet lower into 850. Dow's not doing that. Once Dow, okay, we trade into the inversion on NQ. I don't know what Dow traded into here. I mean, it's a line chart, but that was basically part of the second stage to go higher for Dow. So yeah, NQ gets in sync, but only after taking out Thursday's low significantly. And that's, trading laggards is hard, and it's not fun unless you get it really, really precise, right? So here's the notes that I have for you. Weakness is slow and often runs lows, which may stop traders out before getting back in sync with its peers, right? If you were there in the Discord today, I basically walked you through this morning saying, okay, Dow is higher, NQ is lower. You know, this is like muddy or not ideal conditions or whatever it was I said this morning. We get back in sync here, okay? Because now they're all trading higher together. And then every time we made a new high, right, it was Dow taking the highs first. And then it was like, okay, well, NQ hasn't even made a new high of day or session, both, right? But then ES did make a new high. And then it's like, okay, now we have that. Is NQ going to follow suit or not? Because it doesn't always have to, right? But if it's our laggard and it's going to follow suit, then it will make a new high or run the highs up here. But in this particular case today, it did not. It did make new highs here and a new high of the equity session, yes. But it just didn't take the highs up here, and that's fine. But are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? Deep retracements, that can be scary for traders to trust. It can be a real bitch to trade too, because it feels like it's quick to go lower and slow to go higher, and that expends mental capital. And that's actually the only other point I had. The second point was slowness can bother traders mentally. Spending mental capital can cause a decline in decision making, leading to unfavorable results. For example, moving your stop loss too early. Drop some twos if you've ever done that before. You ever moved your stop loss too early? Because you got tired or you were just irritated with the trade? You're like, all right, bro, do something. You move your stop and then you got wrecked. You ever done that? I'm going to watch down the 5 minute. Or instead of moving your stop, maybe you just close the trade out altogether. You're just like, well, I'm up, but you know, this is bullshit. Let me just take it. And you just close the trade. But how do you feel when you close a trade early, only for that trade, you come back a couple hours later, and it ends up running to your TP, but you're not in it because you closed early? How does that make you feel? That's irritating as shit, right? You're just like, man, I was right. I just didn't make as much. This is bullshit. When you're in drawdown for like 10 minutes and then it goes your direction. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah. Dude, I've been in trades. I haven't done this in a very long time, mind you, but I remember taking trades and bro, I'd be in drawdown for like 2 hours. And that felt like 2 days. You know what I mean? That felt like 2 days. But that's the point. It's mental capital that's being spent. You're anxious, you're nervous, you're watching the chart, and like Mark Douglas talks about, you start seeing it down tick and go, oh shit, maybe I'm wrong. You start seeing it uptick and you're like, oh, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm right. Maybe it'll go to my TP now. I get it. Happened today on YM, but it's all good feeling. It's not a good feeling, but small wins grow the account. I agree, Justin. I agree. I mean, the account won't be doing backflips, but I never promised you'd be a fucking world-class gymnast over here, did I? You know what I mean? It's all about growing the account. It's all about making money, passing a combine, passing the challenge, getting the courage to enter trades, having the patience to wait for the good setups, and having the patience to wait for your trade to pin out when it is a good trade. Staring at the screen, using all your mind powers to go up. Well, you know, there's a lot of truth to that. There's a reason that I have anti-blue light glasses. I even have red ones too. But then I can't see shit. Y'all ever seen like a black and white movie? And everything's black, white, gray. You know what I mean? These glasses are kind of like that, but red. Everything's red. It's either a bright red, a dark red, or I don't know. It's just all red. Can't see shit. Like those red lines, is like this red line right there. I can't see that. It's gone. Like I know it's there, but it ain't there. You know what I mean? So these are. I would need a new set of chart colors if I'm gonna do the red glasses. But these are like the ultimate protection. But anyway, the point is there's real energy being spent when you're looking at the screens without eye protection. So it's not just mental capital, but there's some physical tiredness as well. Yeah, I appreciate that, Naruto. If you guys got some value so far, drop a like on the stream. Drop a like on the stream. I got over 100 likes on... I uploaded a TikTok video yesterday of a small clip of me being in the car and playing music, which was pretty cool. Especially when you know that your week could have been a plus, but you went break even too fast and your week is now negative RR, emotional damage. Yeah. You know, the hardest part about that, G, is you know you did it to yourself. You know what I mean? That's the most frustrating part. You're like, wait a minute. Why did I do that? Why did I not follow my trade plan? Why was I a goober? Why was I a salmon? And you're just like, damn. So, but that's, you know, this is why we have journals, man. Well, you should. You probably don't. Probably don't do anything I tell you to do. You probably just say, yeah, John, I hear you, but yeah, fuck all that. Well, you know, there are students who get results, and then there are students who just like being here because you like learning, but you don't like applying. And I love you guys, but I fucking hate that, dude. I really do. I hate when people get addicted to learning and then never apply anything they learn. Well, what the fuck? What's the point of that? And thank you, Ram. Okay. Now, I'll go over some announcements. Yeah, questioning the meaning of life after that, G. You're like, damn, I would have passed my trade, or I would have passed my combine. I would have passed this funding challenge if I didn't just do that stupid ass shit. Well, that's what happened to my second combine. There was a trade I took on a Friday. It was a Thursday or a Friday. And I cut it short. And then it ran to TP. And I was like, fuck. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn. And then it was that Monday. Took another trade and passed it. You know. But it's like I could have got it done earlier than I had. So I get that, man. I get that. But okay, here's some announcements for you guys. You ready for this? I said this in the Discord yesterday, but since we're live here, as of 2, maybe 3 days ago, because YouTube's analytics are about 2 days behind, on Tuesday, at the close of business Tuesday, we had 199 members. 199 members. We were one shy of 200. Ram, I'm looking at you. Prosper, I'm looking at you. All right, we got some non-members in here, right? So we're very close to 200, but not there yet. So, long story, I won't bore you with my stories, but I went to a bookstore the other day, and we got to talking about books, obviously. And the lady that runs the bookstore, she was like, yeah, I have Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. I'm like, oh yeah, so wonderful book. I was like, I love Robert Greene. She's like, yeah, it's good, but I kind of find it boring. So I had to like hold myself back from punching her in the mouth. You know what I mean? But I'm totally kidding, guys. I would never do that. But I was just like, okay, I get it. Robert Greene's a very dense writer. He does write a lot. I'll give you that. Sure. But what's interesting is there was another person a couple days ago that said the same thing. But it was not 48 Laws. It was Laws of Human Nature. And they were saying, yeah, I have Robert Greene's Laws of Human Nature and I'm reading it, but I find it very repetitive and like boring. So, I was like, I'm about to fucking block you, damn it. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. I would block people, but not for that. So I was kind of like, well, I don't know how to convince you. You know what I mean? I don't know. I can't convince you of what's a good book, what's a bad book. I don't agree, labeling Robert Greene's books bad. They're filled with good shit. Okay? And that brings me to my point, okay? There's a method to the madness. I say all that to say, look, Robert Greene's books are not thin, okay? I think his thinnest one is probably Mastery, which is the one I'm reading right now. Okay? I'm reading Mastery by Robert Greene, and it's pretty good. I've already read 48 Laws. I've already read Laws of Human Nature. I have 33 Strategies of War. I haven't read it yet, but I get it. But listen, if you find a book and you don't like it or it's boring, find a different book, okay? If you're not a reader, if you don't like reading a lot or reading often, it's probably not the book. It's probably just you not being in the habit of reading. You know, when you go from scrolling on TikTok, watching fucking cat videos to reading a Robert Greene book, bro, that's a very, very different change of pace. So that's probably why you're bored. It's not the book, it's you. Because you got scrambled egg brain. You got TikTok brain, bro. You're trying to read and watch, what's that shit? There's like a thing that spins and moves the sand around or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Just dumb shit. You know, you're trying to have TikTok brain while you're reading, and that doesn't work. Yeah, dopamine overdose. Yeah. Okay, so those are the first two. We're about 2, maybe 3 away from 200 members. The second thing is the current book I'm reading is Mastery by Robert Greene. If you don't like dense books, read something smaller until, you know, you're able to, I guess, not have retard brain. Okay. I still get questions every once in a while on book of the month. And every time somebody asks me that, I just send them my book page on Instagram. It's at The Wall Shelf. Okay. The Wall Shelf. The Wall Shelf. Okay. I post the best books on there. So if you want to go find some books, read them, do it. Okay. The last two announcements. How many of you have signed up for Stoic FX already? Did we do 2? Okay, drop some 3s in the chat if you have signed up, made an account with Stoic FX already. Mind you, US clients, not for you, but for everybody else who's looking for a broker. If you have Stoic FX, drop a 3 in the chat. And the only thing I have for you today is, look, if you're having issues with the KYC, signing up, or whatever it is, get with me later today. Send me a message on Instagram, or yeah, just hit my Instagram inbox. Okay, if you have any issues, reach out to me. We'll try to get that shit fixed. Okay. And the very last one, the very last announcement, which I think is pretty cool, even though I'm funded, I have 2 accounts with Top Step. Apex is having a 90% off sale. Okay. So if you're thinking about getting into the funded space, I think it's Apex Trader or Apex Funded Trader, some shit like that. Apex is having a 90% off sale. So prices are dumb cheap. Okay. I looked at the 100K. The 100K account with the 90% discount is I think it's $23 the first month. And then it goes to $44 a month after that. So again, you know, if you think you can trade, if you know what you're doing, and shit, $23 to try and get 100K for the first month, that's 4 weeks. You know what I mean? And $23, that's pretty dirt fucking cheap. Okay. So again, just like I said in the funded video, or like the how to get funded with Top Step video, getting funded is for traders who know what the fuck they're doing. Okay, it's not for everybody. It's definitely not, for beginners. But I would not feel right if I didn't tell you, hey, there's a 90% sale over at Apex. But what I also will say too, in closing, is Apex right now has been quite notorious for denying people's payouts. So, risk reward. Okay, there's obviously risks involved. You have to pay for an account, but you also run the risk of them doing some fuckery as well. So there you go. Okay, and yeah, that's it. 2 to 3 away from 200 members. I'm currently reading Mastery by Robert Greene. At the Wall Shelf is where I post most of the good books that I have and that I read. Reach out today or this weekend if you have any issues with Stoic FX. And Apex has a 90% off sale that ends in 2 days. So it's only a couple days long. And they don't always do 90% off. So, yeah. You guys have any questions for me before we shut it down for this week? Matter of fact, let me ask you one more question. Chat participation this time, in closing. What did you guys learn this week? What did you guys learn this week? And no, G, I still have my accounts. Why do you think when I made that may have been a live stream and not a video, but do you remember a few months ago, it was earlier this year, I was saying, hey, do you never want to blow a trading account again? Like, do you never want to blow a funded account again? Why do you think I said that? It's not just about passing a combine or passing a challenge, but it's about keeping them too. It's about getting it and then keeping it and growing it to get payouts. So, hopefully that helps. Woodley says, patience, wait for your zone. What else did you guys learn besides patience this week? What else did you guys learn? Also, learning what not to do is also a thing. Learning to not move your stop too early or to not TP too early, that's something. Don't tell me we did 4 fucking streams this week and you didn't learn shit. 2 market reviews. I walked you through some price action this morning with leaders and laggards. We talked about market maker models. I mean, we talked about multiple entry concepts, techniques this week. Don't tell me you ain't learned shit. Don't be like that 5-year-old who comes home or that kid from high school. Hey, how was your day at school? Fine. What did you learn, though? Because you're going to learn some real shit here. You ain't going to learn shit in high school, but you're going to learn some real shit here. Tell me what you learned this week. Excuse me. Justin said, don't trade more than you need to. If you're in profit on the day, don't be greedy and don't trade more than necessary. I like it. Lewis says, how to trade gaps. Extreme discounts. You wrote it down. That's good, Lewis. I'm glad you did. Mason said, reinforcing current beliefs. Pop said, I learned that there are different ways to take an inverted imbalance trade by using YM to trade NQ or vice versa. That's a good one as well. I forgot we did that. I forgot we did talk about that, I think, on Wednesday. Looking at one to trade another. That would have worked well today as well. Or today, too. Torty said, more conviction than anything, or excuse me, more conviction that anything can happen, and open my mind if I am in a trade that anything can happen and how important partials are. Anything can happen, right? TPs don't always get hit. Hotshot said, I've learned that partials pay and macros usually have EST, or did you mean easy setups? Or have setups? Yeah, something like that. Macros have setups, basically. I would agree. I mean, just look at today. Right? Go down into a 1 minute today and just look. We had an indicator that had the macros. I don't know what happened to it. You know how TradingView, like, they like to delete shit sometimes. A lot of the time I just do it manually at this point. But there's 850 to 910. Right? Look at that. Look at that time window right there. Right? It's not just about the formation of whatever it is that you're looking for, but it's also within a specific time. So there's, I think that's right, 850 to 910. So where did that inversion occur? And the macro pretty much launched us higher. And it wasn't but a few minutes after that we ended up getting that new high. So yeah, that was solid. Ethernet, that's a good one. Combining the imbalance with the gap. Yep. So you guys do learn shit. I'm over here thinking, man, like, are we getting it? G said, stick to your plan and higher time frame over small time frame. Justin, that's a good one. Don't trade to trade. If you can't see the setup, it's probably not there. Be patient. Wait for a better day. If you're unsure, focus on the long-term vision. There you go. Bird's eye view. We'll pin that. We'll pin that. That's a good one. Profit taking of sell model could be manipulation of a buy model and vice versa. That's a good one too. That's a good one, Naruto. Ask yourself why you think or believe something and who benefits from the thinking and believing that. Yeah. I agree. I'll give you one example. There was a girl, at least I think it was a girl, on Threads who was like, oh, she said some dumb shit about like car payments. She was like, people make dumb decisions with their car payments. And I was like, yeah, but it's not stupid if you can afford it. You know what I mean? This is the problem with advice. This is the problem with social media. Everyone's going to be on one side or the other. One side, oh, you should use credit cards. Another side, you shouldn't use credit cards. Right? One side says rent. Another side says own. You know? Some people like sports cars. I don't know. And then some people like the A to B cars. Some people like day trading. Some people like swing trading. Some people think the markets are rigged and controlled and manipulated and scripted. Other people think that the markets are random. Right? So there's always going to be, you know, advice on both sides of the aisle. And you have to, you know, figure out which side is actually true. Because you may believe certain things now and you may change your mind later. In 2014, I Googled, what is the stock market? In 2025, I gave you the low of the stock market of the year to the day. Okay? A lot can happen in 10 years, 11 years. You know what I mean? So, that is a good one. What would John do? That is a good question. That's a good one. Pop said, you also helped reinforce the higher time frame importance for me this week. I'm guilty of almost rarely looking at the weekly or daily chart. It's not good, I know, but I'm learning. Well, there you go. You know what, Pop? That would be good to add to your checklist. Before I take this trade, did I look at the daily and weekly? Before I take this trade, did I look for London's highs and lows? Did I look for equities open highs and lows? Did I look for whatever model it is you trade? That would be good to add to your checklist if that's something you forget. ALLR? I don't know what that is. I'll look at it this weekend though. If I can, I'll write it down. ALLR, what is that? What is that, Michael? Going to trade on Monday. Fight and fly emotion disrupts my rational thinking. Taking stupid trades, although I acknowledge those comments before. Yeah, G. That's from Epictetus. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? Bro, Epictetus did not fuck around. Well, the only time I laughed is when he brought up his lamp a few times. That shit was funny. I'm like, you and this fucking lamp. But, bro, Epictetus was that dude. There was a reason a lot of the rich Romans sent their kids to Epictetus to learn. If books help understand the market more and experience on the market... Let me back up for a second. If books help understand the market more or experience on the market bring you this understanding... So Woodley, that's a false dichotomy. It can't be one or the other. It can't always be one or the other. It can be both. Because some people say, oh, you shouldn't read books. Yeah, you're a fucking retard. You learn through books, right? But you also learn through experience as well. So the answer is both. Experience will help you. Knowledge in books will help you as well. If it's the right book, of course. But do you get what I'm saying? And you did say both now that I read your comment at the bottom. So yeah. Beware of the false dichotomy fallacy. Right? If I'm not one to give relationship advice, but this is what popped in my head. If your significant other says we can do pizza or burgers, that's a false dichotomy. We could go get Chinese. The fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? So just beware. Sometimes people try to push that on you. It's either this or that. Bro, there's almost always a third or fourth choice. Do I move my stop loss or do I not move my stop loss? You could do both. You could take partials and then move your stop. You know what I mean? Like there's always, more likely than not, there's always more options than just what you've been given. Okay? So that's a good fallacy to remember. So don't forget that. I'll give you one more. When you go out to eat, I do this a lot too. When you go out to eat, again, not dating advice because I'm not the one. All right. But let's say you and your significant other went out to eat and you wanted, let's say, chicken and they wanted steak, right? And you really couldn't decide, well, should I get chicken or steak? What you can do is one get chicken, one get steak, and then just cut that shit in half and split it. And now you get the best of, so now you don't have to decide. Because if you get the chicken, you would have wanted the steak. You get the steak, man, I should have got chicken. Right? But if you get both by just cutting it in half and sharing, you get the best of both worlds. You feel me? You get me on that? And that makes decision making a lot easier. So there you have it. What did I learn this week? That's a good one. I learned mental models. A few days ago, I typed up and printed mental models. There's 30 of them. So what I learned a long time ago that I completely forgot was the Eisenhower matrix. So this week I basically brought that back into reiteration, the Eisenhower matrix. And I think there was one more. I don't think this is what it's called, but it's, oh, there it is. It's a fishbone diagram. A fishbone diagram. Google that. Google fishbone diagram or like fishbone diagram problem solving. Look that up. That's what I learned this week too. So, haha. All right. With that being said, y'all be good, man. Be blessed. Don't do anything stupid this weekend. We'll be here same time, same place on Monday the 2nd, right? It's already almost June. Oh my God. It's already almost June. That's crazy. All right. See you guys on Monday.
What?